Welcome to Jordan Sports Talk. This is your boy Jordan here. I just in advance want to give you guys an apology because I don't know if you guys knew, but my mom and dad are moving to Las Vegas, so we've just been packing clothes, furniture, just been selling a bunch of stuff, and all we've been doing the last couple days is just getting stuff ready. And I've been waiting to get this episode in, and I've just been so tired. And I not just working both jobs, exercising, and then doing this. It's just gotten the best of me. So I just want to give you an apology in advance. Welcome to the latest version of Jordan's Sports Talk. Excuse me, episode 4. We got a lot of exciting things going on. I don't know if you guys know, but March Madness was a dandy. We had a few upsets, but at the end of the day, all the chalk advanced except for number 12 seed Oregon. Called it. Congratulations to Oregon. Not just that, we got NBA playoffs coming down, the NHL playoffs coming down, and tomorrow is opening day. Who's excited? I'm so excited. So topics today are, guys, we got NFL free agency going on. We're still talking about that. We got March Madness going on, and we got opening day. And after the show, I'll give you guys my baseball prediction and who is going to be my World Series champion. So I'm excited to get this rolling, guys. Let's get this started. By the way, if there's any interruptions, I apologize in advance because we're still moving around and moving some stuff. So I figured this was the best time to get this taken care of. Okay, from Joshua. Joshua, love you, man. Hope all is well. What do Indianapolis's playoff and AFC South chances after landing Justin Houston? Honestly, Joshua, I thought you guys were already a playoff team. I think everybody knows that Andrew Luck is like the key to your castle. That's what he is. He's the key. He opens the door for you. That's what he does. The last season without him, you guys were 3-13. This year, you guys start off 1-5. You had a major shoulder injury, came all the way back, got to 10-6, even beat your division rivals, the Houston Texans, and managed to follow the divisional round to the Chiefs. I think it definitely helps. He's a great veteran presence. Justin Houston was a big part of the Kansas City Chiefs defensive core for about 3-4 seasons. So Joshua, I'll give you the last 2 seasons on Mr. Justin Houston. So in 2017, recorded 9.5 sacks with 13 assists. 2018, which is last year, 9 sacks, 9 assists, and he got an interception. So I think it's definitely going to help you guys a lot. I think your rush defense was very questionable last year, but I think your offense will definitely do enough to get it going if you need to. I think it's going to take him a couple games, but I think it's a nice pickup. I mean, you guys were very quiet this offseason, but I think you guys know that you're good enough to make a nice run. I think the Colts are the favorites to win the AFC South. I think they can make another divisional run. I think even possibly the AFC Championship. I have high praise for the Indianapolis Colts, Joshua. I like them, and I think they can keep doing their thing. I think it's a 2-horse race. It's you guys in Houston. Tennessee also got Ryan Tannehill, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on over there. And then the Jaguars got Nick Foles, so I don't think it's going to be the same as going to the Eagles, but I think the Jaguars will get better too. But I think you guys are the favorites, so great question. All right, my man Sal, best sense of humor of all time. If you need a good joke or you want to send something to a guy, he's the man for it. All right, will Antonio Brown have a top 3 season among wide receivers in 2019? No, but I have him in my top 5. I just think I would still take Ben Roethlisberger, throwing me the ball over Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr it looks like John Gruden made it clear they're going to build around Derek Carr. Derek Carr's coming in to his 4th or 5th season, and he's part of this rebuild, and it seems like he's going to be around for a long time, and he's very accurate. So, honestly, sorry, I almost said Joshua. Sal, I'm going to give you a couple guys who I think, my personal opinion, my top 3 right now, who I think will be better than Antonio Brown next year. I think DeAndre Hopkins caught 111 balls, no drops. That's up there. He had the best 2018 season. Odell Beckham, I think with Baker Mayfield, I think him and Jarvis Landry 1-2 combination, that's just going to be absolutely dangerous. And my third one's Julio Jones. I think Julio Jones always has the big games, and he's just very athletic. and I think he's up for another 1,000-yard season. So those are three guys right now I have ahead of him, but I think Antonio Brown will end up in the top five once all said and done. He'll have over 1,000 yards. I think he'll get over 10 touchdowns, and I think he's going to be a big threat. Excuse me. Right now, I still have the Chiefs and the Chargers ahead of Oakland. I think they could possibly be better than the Denver Broncos. I think depending on what happens in the draft, maybe they'll go from, right now I'd have them from 6 wins. Maybe if they get a good draft, maybe 8, 9 wins. So a lot to be excited for the Oakland Raiders. Also, Sal, will Amari Cooper have a top 10 season with a full season at Dallas? Also, no. I think Amari Cooper, played fired up. He's playing for a new contract. I was very impressed by him because when Amari Cooper went to Dallas, they were 3-5. So they were looking for an identity, and they ended up finishing 7-1, and they lost in the divisional round. So clear cut, he's definitely number one wide receiver, but they also lost Cole Beasley, and that's a slot receiver you lost. Yes, you got Jason Witten, Randall Cobb, but we don't know how much he has left. Dak Prescott, I still got questions about him. Very agile, very mobile. I question his accuracy. So Sal, I'm gonna name you my top receivers in 2019, in my opinion, that I'm gonna have over Amari Cooper next year. So we got DeAndre Hopkins, we got Odell Beckham, we got Julio Jones. Michael Thomas is still just a deadly threat. Then I get Antonio Brown fifth. I think even though he's with a different quarterback, different system, I think he's going to have over 1,000 yards. Mike Evans, he does have his moments, but he still puts up productive numbers. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be my sleeper this year. I think he's ready for the challenge. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to keep moving forward, even though losing Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. I still think that's a very dangerous team. Keenan Allen's number 8. If he could stay off the IR, this year was, 2018 was the first time he played a full season since 2015. He could show he could be very productive. Can't forget about Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald's going to find a way in my top 10 no matter what. The man just produces no matter who's that quarterback. The man is just incredibly positive, and he just makes everyone around him better. It looked like Arizona got a lot better towards the end of the year. Number 10, Adam Thielen. He got off to such a hot start, and then he kind of mellowed out towards the end of the year, but I think he was good enough to make my top 10. Then 11, I got T.Y. Hilton. With Andrew Luck, I think he will find a way to pop into the top 10. Then I got Amari Cooper. It's just going to depend how they roll, you know. They do have Ezekiel Elliott, and they got Amari Cooper, and they brought back Jason Witten maybe as a blocking tight end. I'm very unsure how Witten's going to do a year after retirement, so going to be very interesting for sure. So great question. From my new roommate, as you guys know, I'm moving to Glendale Heights. J-Mo, should the Cubs try to extend Chris Bryant? The answer is yes. Chris Bryant is 26 years old. He is a Rookie of the Year. He's an MVP. He's very clutch. Whenever there's a tough moment on the line for him, he just produces, and I think he's just all around just a terrific player, and I think he fits so well with the Chicago Cubs system. So, J-Mo, he's played for the Cubs for 4 years. So I'm going to just quickly give you some stats on Chris Bryant, okay? So this was his Rookie of the Year. 2015 hit 275, 26 homers, 99 knocked in, had 154 hits. MVP season, 2016 hit 292, 39 homers, 102 RBIs. Your World Series championship year. 2017, 295, 29 homers, 73 RBIs, 162 hits. 2018, obviously had the shoulder injury. Still good numbers, 272, 13 homers, 52 RBIs, 106 hits. You have to. I think you're going to have to find a way to pay him. I think it was a great move. You guys did not go get Harper. I think that would have really cost you guys. I think right now you guys are kind of stuck with, some tough contracts and Jason Hayward and Yu Darvish, and you got a couple. I think you got 2 more years of John Lester. I guess that's paid off for you guys. Tyler Chatwood, and then Cole Hamels. You just paid $20 million a year to. So you're gonna have to find a way to fit him in. I think he's a great fit for the Chicago Cubs. I don't think the Cubs can say, well, we're gonna be okay without him. No, you're gonna need him. I think he's great. You can consider him a veteran. He's in the prime of his career. You have to find a way to keep him and continue this run. I think the Cubs definitely have it in them to succeed for the next 5, 6 years. They have that kind of capability. They got that kind of talent. They got great coaching. If Joe Mann wants to stay, I think he'll just fit well. You got him, Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez, and then you got some veteran leadership in Jason Hayward and John Lester. So, honestly, if I'm the Chicago Cubs, you have to go make that move. So, that's a great question. J-Mo again, will Yu Darvish bounce back? I'm still a fan of this signing. He's a veteran pitcher. He's got postseason experience. I still think he has top 10 stuff in baseball. Had a shoulder elbow injury last year. Cost him the season, and I think it was a great move to sit him out. Don't force him to return if you don't need to. I know he's been battling blister problems. I personally think the Cubs, on paper, have the best rotation in baseball. I think it's Lester, Hamels, Hendricks, Darvish, and Quintana. I think that's a very dangerous rotation if they're healthy. That can do some damage. I have Yu Darvish winning somewhere around 13, 14 games, and I think he's going to have maybe a sub-4 ERA, and I think he'll be in the 160, 180 inning limit. Joe Mann's pretty cautious. Outside of Lester and Hamels, he's pretty cautious with his rotation. So it's going to depend on the Cubs' bullpen, and it's going to depend on what they're going to bring, and it depends how much is needed in Yu Darvish. So I think that's going to pay off. I think Yu Darvish will be a big factor for Chicago Cubs. So quickly, he's got a 57-45 record, 3.49 career ERA. So pitched 7 seasons. Got experience. Great question. From my boy Brian, will the Orioles lose 120 games this year? No, I don't think so. I think it's just really hard to be that consistently bad. If you remember correctly, the Dodgers traded 5 top prospects for Manny Machado, so I think you're probably going to see a few of those guys come in and produce for them. I think the rotation's pretty decent for the Orioles. I think by accident they're going to get on a 6-7 game winning streak. That's how the rebuilding stage goes. These kids are going to just find their spot until they figure them out. I have the Orioles winning 52, 53 games. I just have a hard time seeing anybody being that bad. But you know what? You never know. They are they're in my opinion, the best division in baseball. In the Yankees, Red Sox, Tampa Bay, even the Toronto Blue Jays. Excuse me, I need a drink real quick. Spark. Best pre-workout drink ever. So you know where I'm going afterwards. So we'll see what happens. Honestly, the Orioles are probably going to be in that kind of hole for about 3-4 years. So we'll see what happens. Brian, again, will all these moves the Cardinals make work this year, or will they be like most teams hastily built through free agency, have no chemistry? No. You know what? They're not the Anaheim Angels. They're not the New York Yankees where, they're just going to spend money and that's it. St. Louis has always been known as a team that just built. They were always a team for under the Tony La Russa era. Whatever they got out of their farm system, they brought it back up, and that's what they did. Unless your name was Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. And that worked for about 10 to 11 years, that the Cardinals were the dark horse, and they were the stallions of the NL Central. Times have changed, as you can see. Prices are going up, attending games, payrolls are going up. You're all of a sudden seeing these MLB contract extensions, including Paul Goldschmidt, who got 5 years, $130 million. Brian, I read you their projected lineup, so I'm going to let you know what I think. Excuse me, I have a scratchy throat. So it's Matt Carpenter, Paul Goldschmidt, Paul DeYoung, Marcell Ozuna, Yadier Molina, Dexter Fowler, Colton Wong, Harrison Bader, and then their pitcher. That's going to be a good team. And then they have a solid rotation still. They have a solid bullpen. I think the Cardinals are gonna find a way to just get their way into the wild card. I think that they can figure things out. They're very well coached. I know they just fired Matheny, which was the right thing to do because it seemed like they were slipping. And I think that for the next 2 3 years they're gonna contend. I don't know if they'll win the division, but they'll be in the wild card. So honestly, you guys have a great division. In the Chicago Cubs, the Milwaukee Brewers, the St. Louis Cardinals, even the Cincinnati Reds, almost said the Steelers. The Pirates are still rebuilding, so I can't wait to keep my eyes on that and see what happens. All right. Brian, again, what's going on with all these arm injuries for the Brewers? Your question is as good as mine, my friend. So, what we got is closer Jeremy Jeffries with a shoulder injury out until the third week of April. Corey Knebel, elbow injury, out until April 22nd. And starting pitcher Jimmy Nelson out until April 14th. So, they're just going to have to figure it out. It looks like Joakim Soria is going to be their closer to start the season. I think, honestly, they'll be just fine. They have a heavy set lineup. I think they got a strong enough starting rotation. And in all honesty, they're just going to have to figure it out from there. I mean, I think they're good enough. They got the veteran experience. Craig Counsell is going to just work his magic. And honestly, I think that's what's going to work out for them. I'm pretty sold on the Milwaukee Brewers. This is not something I would necessarily worry about. I think they're just going to slowly bring them in and just work it out. I think they'll probably be a 500 team come the All-Star break, and then we'll see what happens come the second half. But I like Milwaukee. I think they'll be just fine. All right. Brian, one more question from you. I made a $250 bet with my friend, and I told him the Angels weren't going to win the World Series. He said they would. So the question is, will the Angels win the World Series between 2019 and 2024? Well, they just signed Mike Trout to a 12-year, $430 to $435 million extension. It's somewhere between there. My thing is, you don't have a starting rotation. Also, you don't have a bullpen. Your bullpen is very sub. It's just not good. Yes, you picked up a bunch of veterans in your lineup. The Angels have been known for doing that for the past 6-7 years. Let's remember, they had Albert Pujols' 10-year, $250 million deal. Josh Hamilton, 5 years, $125 million. Justin Upton, 5 years, sorry, I had something there. 5 years, $125 million. They're known for picking up veteran players. Brandon Phillips is another guy they just picked up. The Angels are known for picking up veteran-like players. And they've been doing this for 6-7 years. I think they're going to have to. I thought they were going to have to trade their players around Trout and build a farm system. The problem is they don't have a farm system. They're going to have to increase their payroll and just continue to find guys that can work with Trout. But that's impossible because they don't have money outside of Mike Trout, and they had to keep him because that's the best player in the world. Unless you have a plan to trade him where you can get 10 of your best prospect, 5 to 10 of the best prospects in the world, and you hope that rolls. So I think my answer is no, because you got the Houston Astros, who are the face of that division. I think the Seattle Mariners will be back down the line. The Oakland A's are going to be absolutely dangerous. And you also got the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Cleveland Indians, the Minnesota Twins, and I think my young and upcoming team, the Chicago White Sox. So, Brian, that's probably the easiest $250 you're ever going to win, my opinion. All right, Tyler, just because I read this a couple days ago, is Oregon the most dangerous double-digit team? Well, they're the only double-digit team out there, but I'll tell you one thing. I've liked them because I think they're just scorching hot, and I don't know if you remember in episode 3 of Jordan's Sports Talk, but I said I think they are the most dangerous team. I think they can make a Cinderella run. I think I always roll with the hot team. I am sold on them. They are playing a very tough Virginia team, and Virginia is a team, if you remember correctly, got knocked off by 16 seed UMBC. They struggled early on against Gardner-Webb. They found their way to win. They coasted against Oklahoma. I'm still not sold on Virginia's game plan, so I think Oregon has a terrific chance. And I believe, if I remember correctly, They get the winner of Purdue and Tennessee. So that will be a terrific matchup. So I would say Elite Eight, if anything. If not, they will be out in the Sweet 16. But Oregon is doing a terrific job, and they're making everybody proud. All right. Does Kansas City continue to get big naked players or go draft heavy for their defense? From Tyler. Yeah, you guys were statistically one of the worst defenses in football. Best advice is it seems like you cut off the dead weight on your team. You picked up Tyrann Mathieu, terrific pickup. I think you're going to have to. You're going to have to find somebody, and I think you do what the Baltimore Ravens have been doing for 5-6 years, and that's stock up on your defense until they get great. You guys were, at one time, I think from 2014 to 2016, you guys were a top 5 defense, and then it seemed like you heavily invested on your offense and you forgot to sell your defense, or you had a couple injury problems and they just took a step back or a step slower than they were. So honestly, if I'm Kansas City, your offense is fine. You just continue to build on your defense. Maybe you could draft a wide receiver just in case this Tyreek Hill thing goes overboard. So it overflows, overblows, whatever you call it. So keep building your defense, Tyler. Kansas City is going to be just fine. All right, Tyler. Is the American League East let me say that again. Is the American League East the division to beat? Yes, I do. I think the Boston Red Sox are the defending champions. I think they will take a step back this year, but you also got the New York Yankees, who also are going to be missing a couple pitchers, but probably have one of the best offenses. Both the Yankees and Red Sox have the best offenses in baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays, I don't know how they do it, but they find a way they manage to hang in there each and every year. I think have one of the best bullpens in baseball. So they have 3 solid contenders, and I think the Red Sox or the Yankees can once again find their way into the World Series. Also, the National League Central, which we were talking about, you get the Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago Cubs, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Cincinnati Reds. A lot going on over there. I think the Reds are maybe a year or 2 away, but I think it's a 3-horse race. Then you got the National League East, where you have the Atlanta Braves, who won their division. Congratulations, the Atlanta Braves. You got the Philadelphia Phillies, who have made all these moves. On paper, a division favorite. You got the New York Mets, who picked up Diaz and Robinson Cano. Terrific pickup. And then you got the Washington Nationals, who still have 1 through 3, a strong rotation, and they have a young and upcoming team. So I would say the American League East for now is the division to beat, followed by the National League Central, followed by the National League East. 3 best divisions in baseball. So before I let you guys go, as I told you before, opening day is tomorrow, and I am truly, truly, truly excited. I love opening day, so I will miss a little bit of it, but remember, my Chicago White Sox played the Kansas City Royals at 3 o'clock. I'm very excited. Trust the process. So, anyways, I'm going to give you guys my baseball predictions and my World Series prediction, and you guys can comment below, and we can figure this thing out. By the way, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube to Jordan Burnett. I will remind you before the show is over. Okay. Anyways, we're going to start off with the American League. American League East, I like the Boston Red Sox. The AL Central, I like the Cleveland Indians. American League West, Houston Astros. Might be the biggest division league in all baseball. Wildcard number 1, I like the New York Yankees. Wildcard number 2, I like the Tampa Bay Rays. Okay, let's go to the National League. I'm going to let this picture pop up real quick because it's going to show my predictions. National League East, I like the Atlanta Braves. National League Central, I like the Milwaukee Brewers. National League West, I like the Los Angeles Dodgers. Wild card number 1, I like the Chicago Cubs. Wild card 2, I'm going to go with a surprise. I'm going with the St. Louis Cardinals. So, yes, no Philadelphia Phillies, no New York Mets, no Nationals, no Reds. So, those teams missed out. So, sorry to hear that. That's unfortunate. I'm going to give you my World Series prediction. I'm going with a shocker. I'm going with the Atlanta Braves over the Boston Red Sox in 6 games. So I am rolling with the Atlanta Braves. So let's see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I do. We got opening day tomorrow. We got the start of the Sweet 16. We got the Elite 8. I'm looking forward to this week. Also, we got the start of the NBA playoffs coming up. We got the NHL playoffs coming up. If you guys follow that. So what I want you to do when this is over, you tell your friends, you tell your neighbors to watch Jordan Sports Talk episode 4 and tell them to please subscribe on YouTube to Jordan Burnett. This could be the last time I'm doing it in this beautiful home. There is literally everything's gone. So just in case you don't believe me, we've moved a bunch of stuff. So subscribe on YouTube to Jordan Burnett. Guys, been an honor. This video will be uploaded tonight. Keep it tight.